So now this lecture, let's say, it's, we are going to the most practical thing, you know. So from the more, let's say, theoretical to the knowledge you have to know, even related to the design, and now to the method and the tools that may support you during the design process. Okay, and okay, we will see some tools. You will use some of the tools. Of course, this is not a lab, not a complete course, but we have selected the most important to be used, and I will illustrate them now. And so the lecture today that I'm going to present to you is about the MSDS. It's a method for system design for sustainability. It's quite clear, the acronym, I believe. And I will make a resume, or maybe you will help me, as usual, about system design for sustainability. Then we will see the methodology, which are the objective, the main approaches, and the phases. And then we will see the main tools. Okay, in this presentation. Then I have another presentation in which I will make to you an overview of the methodology. So like a storyboard of it. To have you to, I'm not going to describe each tool in the detail, that will be later, but so that you get an idea of what may happen. It's not so that you will get everything, but you get an overall idea of what we are talking about, what you're going to design, and what are the tools that will support you. So a resume of system design for sustainability. Since you are close to the written examination, you should be able to tell me what is this key paradigm shift from traditional product sale model to sustainable product service system model. What is changing? You remember that we moved from selling product to selling satisfaction. Yeah, you are what we call units of satisfaction. And linked to that, of course, when you're talking about satisfaction, you have to design. We are in a service society, both product and services related to this unit of satisfaction. And then we understood that while working on that, we have to work at the beginning on stakeholder interaction level. So to redesign the stakeholders that are the provider of the service, or even the user could be integrated, or all along the life cycle phases of a product, or of the mix of the product and services that are part of our satisfaction unit or satisfaction systems. And then another characteristic is that, you remember, we move and we shift from, at least when we look at the industrialized context, from the value perceived by the user as the ownership of the product, to the access to product, goods and services and so on. So to the benefit, to the satisfaction that those products you gave to us. Okay? And what we understood that while proposing this business model, we have a win-win opportunity. And that was, the key point is, can we trust that every entrepreneur is a good entrepreneur, will make good things for the environment? Maybe not. So, into this business model, what are the real, what is so interesting? Why we have been studying those business models for so many years? This is the point. Please remember, this is the point. Why we have been studying this business model? Because it is in the company, or in the entrepreneur, or the alliances of company offering or providing product and services, to design those products and services with a low environmental impact. So it's an economical and competitive interest to design product with a low environmental impact. That in a product sale, traditional offer, this doesn't happen all the time. Please remember this. So if that was not there, this course would not be here. Not so many researchers around the world would have been said. And as she said as well, we understood that these business models are beneficial even for low and middle income context and people. So it has at the same time an economical, an environmental, and a socio-ethical business. It's a win-win business model. Okay? But the key point is the economic interest that makes the manufacturer to say want to design the most environmentally sustainable product because this may need to make a good business. Okay, and it happens that it opens up new market even for low and middle income context. That's another interesting thing, but that makes a more sustainable lifestyle for those persons over there. Okay, is that far clear? And in the written examination, that is not enough. You have to know and be aware of why this is happening. So there are a few things that we said. Please go and check after those because these are important. They are not so difficult. You have just to have them in your mind for a while. Okay? I hope for the rest of your life, but at least. And so, when speaking about system design for sustainability, what we said, if we have to design such a system, what are the key characteristics? I'm going so that I make it faster. We have to have a system satisfaction system approach. So we have to design, and we said something about before, design for a particular unit of satisfaction. And then all related products and services. We have to have a stakeholder configuration approach. We have to be able to design the configuration, the interaction of the stakeholder, and then, of course, even the product to give the environmental impact and so on. And to design such a stakeholder interaction that, because they are not all PSS are sustainable, we remember, to design such a way that they are effectively with low environmental impact and with a benefit for the social equity and cohesion. Okay. And that was the second part. Then we ended with that, which was, let's say, a more consolidated knowledge base and know-how for designer and other. We said actually seems to be really very interesting to couple this other paradigm shift from large-scale centralized system of production of whatever, of energy, of product, of information, of even design and so on, to decentralized, distributed and small-scale one. Okay, because they are sustainable opportunity in a local context, especially and for low and middle income people. But they are interesting. But we understood that if we couple these two business models, this becomes really a win-win-win-win. I don't know how many times we have to say win solution. Because what happened that if we apply this sustainable product service system business model to distributed economy, we can, you remember, and this please remember, this is another key fundamental thing, we can cut the initial investment cost of any hardware that is going to be purchased. This is not only happening for distributed economy, but if I have to buy a solar panel, I don't buy that one, so I can afford it because I'm paying per use and so on. And if it gets broken in a traditional sale, I have to pay the repair. Maybe you don't have the money, so the solar panel will not work anymore. In a PSS, no. It is within the offer package included the cost of repairing for the duration of the contract or the life of the product and so on. Okay, so there is not that risk. Some new tools and method has been developed. Why? Of course, when there is something new capability, new skills that are required by to any person, so even for you to design, we have to have some new support tools. So we developed during the course of several EU-funded research. Since 2005, there were working group worldwide developing this, and the EU funded some of those projects, and the United Nations Environmental Program others, and so on. So it was a good help. I was luckily inside of several of those. And of course, maybe this is the reason why I'm teaching and speaking to you about this. The scope is far obvious. This is to support designers, whether they are working alone or in a design studio or within a design department in a company and so on. In designing such a system that we have as a student, to design and to address the design process toward environmentally, socioetically sustainable solution, at the same time even economically sustainable solution. The tools that we develop, they are all free to be downloaded on the website, not just by you, but by anyone. And we are constantly upgrading them. And in fact, we have been working a little bit in the last day to have some of those updated even for the course. We have been rushing a little bit, but I think we succeed with one. It won't be really ready, but we will try and we will test it anyhow. Nevertheless, the methodology is organized in some phases, as all the methodology. But you know, each design process is iterative, so maybe you go down and you come up, and but I'm not going to speak about it. You know very well, okay? So it's not just going straight down. Many times you have to open up your mind and to go back and so on. But anyhow, there is a first phase which is called strategic analysis, in which there are different processes that you can read there inside. The analysis of the project promoter, who is promoting the project, the analysis of the reference context, where we are designing our product service system for, the analysis of the reference structure, so the proposer, what are they proposing, what they have as tools, knowledge, and so on. An analysis of best practices, this could be very useful. We will not be doing this, for example. A sustainability analysis for defining priorities, of course. Well, actually, you will not be doing. We did it for you this time because we don't have all the time to go through all the process. Then we actually like to, this is not, could be a bit different from other methodology. You don't find exploring opportunities between brief and strategies. You go directly to concept design, whether it's a product or a service or whatever. But since we are thinking about radical innovation, it is important to devote some time to explore opportunity. Okay, so it is in fact a concept development, but it's like to say, before focusing just on one concept, open up your mind, because we have to design really something more radical, and so we call it exploring opportunity phase, in which we have an idea generation oriented to sustainability, and another phase that we are not going through during this project to the development of what we call sustainable scenario to orientate the design process. Actually, we did, and in some cases this exists already a scenario, and this is something that you are going to use. So if a scenario exists, it doesn't say that it could exist for every product. For example, we made consultancy for a couple of companies on this. So before going to concept for Tetra Pak and for Kone, for all these two companies, elevator and beverage packaging, we did a scenario before, exploring opportunity to let them understand, well, you can go in very many directions. And even to do this, there is, some tools, some processes to make this. And this is something that we did to come out with a scenario that you are going to use, even though it will be a draft, because we are still in the process. Then after that, there is a system concept design phase. As we have product, we have system concept design phase, in which there is a first way of clustering and selecting idea to go towards one concept. There is the product service system concept design, and then the sustainable evaluation of this concept to get to understand whether we did something good or not, if we have to readdress our processes and so on. Then, as in product design processes, we go into a system detailed design. So we are detailing down to the level of possible implementation of the system. And then, of course, there is communication. Communication is at the end, but it's not really at the end. It could be at the end because you want to communicate externally what is the value of your product in terms of the inner quality and in terms of sustainability quality. But it could be used even along the processes. Many times it's good to communicate into a team, into a company, or if you have more than one company, as you may have understood, since we are designing the stakeholder configuration, there could be some situation in which there are several stakeholders that have to design something or co-design something together, so as to enable them to have a strategic conversation to design something is quite important. So we have some tools for doing this, and communication tools may be helpful for this purpose as well. So during the course of the project. Just for your knowledge, this is a modular, it has been taught as a modular methodology. What does it mean, modular? That actually you can, it's not that you have to go from the beginning to the end, that you have to use all the processes and all the tools. It depends. A company already, has a clear brief, has something very defined, so it's not that you have to design a scenario, or explore so many opportunities. That is, so you start from the concept and you go from that stage down, or it could be that they are interested just in having scenario, as we did for some company, because that is important for them, and then they will decide and they will go on with their own. Or on the other side, it could be that they are interested just on the environmental dimension and not on the socio-ethical dimension of sustainability. That happened, for example, for us with the company. They were interested more here, the consultancies, not something else we did in Africa, for example, for other companies that was different. So it has been structured in all other ways, so that you can use and you can adapt even to your own way of designing, or maybe even to the procedure of a company, because big company, they have a very, not rigid, but they have a procedure that they have to follow to design and so on. And so to have it modular, this help. Said this, what are the main tools? Well, there are quite some, maybe even with a light, because it's a bit, it's not so, it's a bit small. We have several tools, and those tools here is just the agenda. We will go through, maybe not all of them, but through most of them with a short description now, just for the understanding, and a better description will come later. Okay. Those in blue, they are all they are all tools that help to orientate the process towards sustainable solution. The white tools are product service system design tools that are normal tools for PSST. They are not the only, there could be some others. For service design, we are using something, others are using some other tools and so on, but these are. And anyhow, I'm going to teach you to introduce you even to some of those, because you have to use, and it's not said that all of you knows how to design product service system or how to design services, okay? And then you see we have even some yellow and orange tools with that color. What does it mean? That since we have been working before in the near past on distributed renewable energy, you remember the project we had with Africa that it ended a while ago. We developed some tools specifically for designing a sustainable product service system applied to distributed renewable energy. These are in orange, okay? Then we are now developing, and this is what I've said, we have been working hard these days even to have some of those tools ready for you to start a design exercise. Some of those are related to distributed economy, so are related to SPSS but apply to distributed economy, and they are in yellow. Okay, distributed renewable energy is one of the distributed economy typology. Remember, we could have distributed production of products, 3D printing, of information, of software, Linux, and so on. Okay. So this the first tool, and it's a tool to use to inspire designer. You know, when we as designer, or even other professional maybe, but we have to innovate in relation to a totally different context from the one we are used to work for. It's good that we are somehow we swim a little bit into these new scenarios into which we have to design something for. And so the illustration of this scenario, a narration, which will be a video narration or an audio-video narration, it is helpful, and it has been found even by us as very helpful for at least the distributed renewable energy and what we have been working a while ago, to take you and the designer into this, okay, come with me. We have to design into this new paradigm of the offer and of the production, okay? And so to have some video, it could be quite useful and helpful. And so this is a tool that helps you to do this. Then there is a key tool, fundamental tool for the MSDS methodologies called Sustainability Design Oriented Toolkit. In fact, it's composed by different tools inside, but anyhow is it helps during the process to analyze the system in a qualitative term, the existing system, to identify priority, one step, then to brainstorm and to generate ideas that are oriented towards sustainability, and in our case, even to sustainability in distributed economy, And then to make a third thing is to check sustainability of the concept we have developed. Could be in different stages. And in fact, as I said, we have developed recently some guidelines related to 6 idea table with 6 criteria, and are those that Cheng presented to you in relation to some example, okay? And these that were, guidelines there are actually embedded in the tools to help you to generate idea and to address your idea generation towards promising idea, okay? And we have embedded these into the SDO toolkit as well. Then we have the innovation diagram. This is a tool by which, with the same scheme of the polarity diagram that we use for the scenario, we can do 3 things basically. We can position our company. Where is our company? Or if you have to work on consultant company, where are you positioned in relation to business and business to consumer, in relation to distributed economy or decentralized or even centralized if you're over there, and then to characterize which type of offer, which is your type of offer. Then another key fundamental tools is a general tool, is not to orientate towards sustainability, is the system map. The system map is to design and visualize the configuration of the actors. Okay, so which are the stakeholders and which are the interaction among the stakeholders, whether there are information flow, financial flow, material flow, labor flow, and so on. So we have to design this. And actually we have to identify the partnership, we have to identify the ownership, is very important. So this is related to, especially to SPSS, where is the ownership of some hardware part linked to, and so on. Then we have other 2 tools. These are all tools you're going to use. The interaction table and interaction storyboard. The interaction table is to again visualize and co-design in relation to all the stakeholder their action. So it's a narration during the time of what is happening, okay, what I have to do, and so on. So you will have 1 line per each of the actors, and the relation of the timing and the different phases. And as you will see, this could be at the beginning is draftly made with few details. Then when it go to engineering phase, before implementation, could be a very complex tool, could be a very big map describing it. The interaction storyboard is some kind of a cut of the interaction table, so it's not, we don't have different line 1 for each of the actor, but we take all the actor in 1 line to make a narration that is more understandable as a narration. It's used in a different way. If I want to tell and describe how the system works, like in a speech or to someone, if I use the system map, one can get mixed. If I use this one, then that could be helpful. The system, the interaction table, it's complex on one side, but of course it helps you to understand if the system works or not. If the output of some actor is in the right time coming to as an input for the next actor to go on with the action and so on. Of course, to do this, there are even blueprints, other tools, but we are using this. Then there is the satisfaction offering diagram. This is to visualize what? The satisfaction unit. Okay. So what are we? What the provider are going to deliver as a satisfaction? And we have to be good in saying this. and saying that there is a value in the fact that maybe there is no ownership and other things. And this could be, there would be a core satisfaction described, and then even some subwoofer and so on. But we will see this later. Then the solution element brief. This is not, we're not going to use this. But, it identifies when we have all the different stakeholders being part of the provider, or the user could be part of it. But so who is designing, who is producing, and so which are the role in relation to some hardware part or other software part, and so on. System evidences, this is not saying that much, but of course, when during the course of the project, we will ask you to even make a draft drawing of the product that are related to your product service system. The sustainability interaction story spot. This is used to highlight which are the sustainability benefits. Okay, so how we do? We take, since the sustainability benefits are not, as in a product, linked to the fact that I'm using a material or a two-way snap fit to enable disassemble that make it easy, the recycling or whatever, and so on. But is in relation to the to a specific interaction that makes the company interested in designing something. We make a cut of the storyboard and we highlight it into that action. We have some environmental or socio-ethical benefits. And so this will be highlighted in this way. This could be, a static image, could be animated, and so on. We have even, and you will use it, NSPSS, in this case, applied to the A, so we have defined declinated this and added something in, to make it to be better used when you have to design a distributed economy. So there are some issue that help you to do this. But it's simply a format to help you to describe in the right way a concept and to understand whether you are really designing a sustainable product service system concept applied to the A or you forgot to do something. So if you don't succeed to do something here, it means that maybe I have to rethink, and this is helpful even to rethinking the issue. Then another tool is the animatic, beautiful things, but we want to make a very short. At the end of the project, we will make a very short audio video of this. And animatic is an animation of static images with an audio narration over it. Okay. And we have a way a suggested way in which an SPSS could be narrated to, highlight all the qualities and so on.